Hi, I'm Troy, and welcome back to another on-the-road video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for proper voltage. Remember to also turn off the water. Today we're working on a KitchenAid dishwasher. We're going to go ahead and replace the broken dispenser. Customer complaint on this particular model or situation is that the dispenser lid for the soap is not latching shut anymore and the rinse aid cap has broken. To access it, you need to remove the screws from the inside of the panel, so we can remove the panel to access the screws holding the dispenser housing in place.
You will need the following tools before you begin this repair.
So first thing we're going to do is open the dishwasher. The dishwasher opened, we're going to go ahead and remove the T15 screws from all the way around the whole unit. Once we take them off, we'll be able to remove the front panel and set it aside to access the back of the dispenser housing. It screws in from the back side into the front. So we're going to start off by removing the screws. Once the screws are removed, you can set them aside. The screws set aside, you can lift the panel back up and then it should pop right down and off, and you're going to go ahead from here and you're going to pick it up. Once you picked it up, it'll come off of the actual door. With the door panel removed from the actual door, we're going to go ahead and remove this wiring harness. Once that's removed, we can set the door aside. With the panel off, this is the housing, the dispenser housing we're going to replace. What we're going to go ahead and do is unplug this wire from the actual wax motor here. With that removed, we can just move it aside. You shouldn't have to remove the clips because this whole metal housing is going to stay and go back right on into place. So you're going to go ahead and use a 3/16 socket or driver to remove the screws that are holding it in place. With the screws removed, you should be able to take the cover, just pull it off and let it hang to the side. Once you have that off and hanging to the side, this housing is basically held in place by a couple little metal tabs. There's one up here and then one down here. That's holding it in place so it won't just fall back out. So we're going to have to just lift those tabs up a little bit. Once the tabs are up, the dispenser is going to now just fall inside the unit if like this situation, it just locked when I pushed it to get those out. Just hold on to the metal framing up here and you can pull it to unlatch it again. So it's out, you can hold it and open the door a little bit. With the tabs released, you go ahead and remove the housing. You'll have your new housing in hand. It has a rubber seal right around the outside that's going to go against the actual stainless steel tub. The front of it, the dispenser cap is in place, the detergent cap is working. So we're going to go ahead and set it back in position the way that it goes. You can push it and make sure it sets in place. Once it's in place, look on the back side and see if it's all the way secured. And it appears to be in there all the way. What you may want to do is just pull it back out a little bit. These tabs, you can go ahead and bend them back down some. And set this back in there. Push it in place until it clips into position. Do the same on the bottom. Now it's being held in place. You can shut the door again. Now we're going to go ahead and put the cover back on. It goes right back on the same way you took it off, with the long part sticking out to the side. With it in place, you can go ahead and start one or two of your screws so that you can hold it up there. Now you're going to put the rest of them in. Now it's held in place. Now that you have them all started, what I tend to do is work cross-cornered and back to the middle so that it pulls it back and seats it in place most evenly. You may have noticed I came back to the different screws multiple times around the outside corners, because as you're pushing to screw it in place, you can push this housing in again, and as you tighten one down, the other ones may appear a little bit loose. So I'm just tightening them down, and I'm going to go ahead and get the two middle screws tightened all the way into position. And I am using a socket. I did not use an actual ratchet because I don't want to over tighten them, and the ratchet can give you a little too much leverage and you can strip out the screws going into the housing. So just get it to where it's nice and tight by hand, because there is a rubber seal between the housing and the actual metal tub of the door, so it's going to seal, but you don't want to over tighten and strip out one of your screws. Okay, so now that we have all the screws tightened in place, we're going to reattach our harness. Harness, again, it's only going to go in one way, and you're going to put it in position and push it in until it clicks in place. With the door back in hand and in position, you're going to reconnect your plug harness back into the dishwasher control board. Once that is back in position, you're now going to go ahead and put it back on its hanging tabs. So what you can see is this lip right here is going to go behind here, and behind there is one of the screws. So you want to make sure you get it in the proper position so that you can attach this bottom screw. So what I'll do is I will make sure the door is not latched shut, so then when I pick this back up, I can pick it up and set the tabs behind the back, and then pull the door open and be able to hold it in position and tighten the bottom screws to start off with. Once you have it in position at the top, I'll put my knee at the bottom to hold it so I can open the door a little bit, and then use my hand to hold it up. Use my leg on the one side and reach across and hold it on the other side. And what you're going to do is take the shorter of the screws. You have 2 long screws for up at the latch. The rest of them are short screws. We're going to take one of the short screws and start it on the opposite side from where we're at, so we don't have to reach across and hold it anymore. So once you have it in approximate position, you can go ahead and start this bottom screw or one of the screws just to hold it in place. Have that one in place. We got the screw on the one side. We're going to come back to the side closest to us. Put in one of the bottom screws. Once that is in place, you can proceed to put the rest of the screws in. I personally will come back up to the top. Make sure my torque is not too super high, because the top ones screw into plastic and we do not want to strip them out. Get one side started, move to the other side. Now the unit is completely secure. Proceed to put the rest of your short screws in. The short screws in. We're now going to put the 2 longer screws that go through where the latch is. Again, you're going to make sure your torque is low so you don't damage where the screws go into. You've now got the dispenser completely installed. This one now functions properly. The cap can come back off. Once you've done that, that completes your repair. Thank you for watching another quality repair video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.